Hi, Rob Linhart here in the Hazel's Wine Department, and here we go with Sunday specials for January 28th and 29th.
John was the first one to pull you down. He took one drink and he started to clown. Passed you the Hazel, Jane, and Jack. Penelope got you and passed you right back.
We've got a rock-solid lineup for you this week. 2 whites and a red. We're going to start in France with the 2017 Domaine d'Urban Muscat Baume de Venise. Now, most of you probably don't know that much about Muscat Baume de Venise. This is a sweet wine. This is a dessert-style wine made from that wonderful, rich, floral Muscat grape. And here you're going to get that richness, lovely sort of sense of candied fruit, stone fruits, a little bit tropical. Kind of think about pineapple, passion fruit sort of notes coming through on this. Nice citrusy streak running through this as well. And again, keep in mind at all times, this is going to be a fairly rich, sweet style up front. Good texture as well. That citrusy note kind of played with almost a slightly minty note. I was really thinking about lemon balm when you get right down to it. But little hints of nuttiness going through on the finish. Good acidity tends to dry this out on the finish a little bit. So it's got a lot of sweetness, but as the style goes, especially on the mid palate and as it carries through the finish, not quite as sweet as you might think. It dries out a little bit, and that just makes it feel juicy and delicious, and you're just going to want to drink more and more. We're heading to California now for a classically styled Chardonnay. This is the 2018 Ramsgate Sonoma Coast Chardonnay. This has got California rich Chardonnay written all over it. That beautiful rich nose. Think baked, buttered peaches, buttered apricots. Nice dusty tone as well. I always like that when I get that, especially in these California wines. Something else I tend to find in these California Chardonnays, a streak of really intense, intensely concentrated preserved lemon. This wine has seen a fair bit of oak, but for me that oak influence really kind of came through on the back end of the wine. So not really driving the bus on this wine, but it's gonna bring you that big, round, full-bodied texture, very complete Chardonnay. Ticks so many boxes for California Chardonnay as you go right across the board. Good acidity gives it some nice cut on the finish as well to really complete this experience. Last but not least, we're heading to the Western Slope. We're in Colorado for the lovely 2019 Plum Creek Cabernet Sauvignon. And we've talked about this before. Let's face it, Colorado wines, especially reds, don't necessarily have the biggest international reputation. And they tend to be a little big for their britches, if you will. But what they've done here is they found a great measure of balance and elegance. This is a light-ish Cabernet, solidly mid-weight for the Cabernet Sauvignon category. But what you get in exchange for that mid-weight is a really approachable, easy drinking texture up front. Nice balance with acidity and tannins to really keep things a little bit on the DL on your palate. What that does is that frees up this intensely concentrated fruit. I felt like the fruit on this wine, especially on the mid palate and the finish, it was drilling holes in my tongue. It was that intense. And the finish goes on and on and on. We're opening here with nice red berry, red plum fruits, little hints of herbal notes, bit of that tobacco leaf that we tend to find in Cabernet, little hints of earthiness. There is some oak influence here, but for me, it brings a nice balance to the wine. That oak kind of softens that texture, gives those beautiful accent notes, little pie spice notes, little hint of vanilla or coconut. So it really brings the wine together. It's an absolutely delicious, top-class example of what we can do on the Western Slope of Colorado.
John was the first one to pull you down. He took one drink and he started to clown. Passed you the Hazel, Jane, and Jack. Penelope got you and passed you right back.